Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Exploring Cinema podcast. This one's been pretty anticipated because it kind of got delayed a bit, but we're here. It's going to be my top 25 films of all time. It was originally going to be my top 100, but that accidentally got wiped off the face of the earth, so now we're going to have to roll with this one. Hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the last one was. The original recording was about an hour long. I don't know how long this one's going to be, probably around 15, 20 minutes, maybe shorter. But I hope you guys enjoy. And a brief disclaimer before we begin. Some of these films have some more risque or crude content in them. So I would just like to say that some of these have been viewed by me in an edited format. And that never takes away from the film's quality. It never tarnishes its legacy. And you can still enjoy films when they're edited for content. So I just want to preface that if you're really young and you're getting into film, I do suggest to watch some of these edited because of just content. But without further ado, let's get into it. Number 25, we have The Big Lebowski, directed by the Coen brothers. This is the best comedy ever made. It's so funny. It's so entertaining. It's got some good drama in it. The acting is very, very good. The writing's on point. The soundtrack's great. A lot of the jokes absolutely hit in the perfect moments at the right time and at the right mood. It's very, very good. The dude is the funniest character in movie history, I think. He's so funny and so lovable. Number 24, we have The Unforgettable Raging Bull, directed by the great Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro as Jake LaMotta, a boxer in New York City in the 1940s, and his rise and fall as a fantastic boxer into a struggling entertainer. This film's incredible. I definitely suggest all of you guys to check it out. It's some of the best acting ever put on screen. It's one of Scorsese's best films. It's one of De Niro's best films. Go check it out. It's amazing. Number 23, we have the Netflix original released in 2019, starring Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, Marriage Story. This film is amazing. It's heartbreaking. I cried my eyes out. I cried like a baby when I watched this, but it shows the struggle that a struggling husband and wife have as they complete a divorce. It's heartbreaking. The acting is incredible. It was definitely the best acting in a year full of amazing performances from both Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. It's absolutely incredible. Number 22, we have one of the best sequels ever made, The Godfather Part 2, released in 1974, starring Al Pacino. This film shows what happens to Michael Corleone after the events of The Godfather, and and it switches back in timelines and also shows how Vito became the Godfather originally. It's incredible. It's one that you have to see before you die, as long as it's the first. It's absolutely astounding. One of the best sequels. Number 21, we have Catch Me If You Can, released in 2004, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. This film's very entertaining. It shows a few of the years in a teenager's life where he becomes a con artist and actually impersonates a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer based on a true story about the great, genius Frank Abagnale, we'll put it that way. He was very cunning. This film's very entertaining. It's got great pacing, very, very good score. Number 20, we have the best movie ever made. There's no contest or debate. It's The Godfather, released in 1972, starring Al Pacino and Marlon Brando. This has got some of the best acting. It is absolutely perfect. There's nothing I can really say that has not already been said about this masterpiece. Go check it out yourself. Watch it before you're off this earth, please. Number 19, we have the great Forrest Gump. Everyone's seen Forrest Gump. There's not much I can say about it, really. Tom Hanks' performance is amazing. This is one of the best films ever made, and it came out in one of the best years for film ever made, being 1994. Number 18, we have Dune, released in 2021. This was my favorite film of the year, although I do not believe it to be the best film of the year. I think that's going to have to go to The Tragedy of Macbeth. But this film is amazing. The soundtrack, amazing. Cinematography, amazing. I've heard some people hate on it. I really don't understand why. It's absolutely incredible. It goes by in just the blink of an eye. The pacing's amazing. It is such a great film. Pure 10 out of 10. Number 17, we have The Departed, released in 2006, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jack Nicholson. This film's very good. It shows the story of a Boston police officer as he's undercover in the Irish mob and an Irish mobster while he's undercover in the police department. And they're trying to find each other. It's an adaptation of an Asian film called Infernal Affairs, with the exact same plot, really. The ending's incredible on both of these films. I've not seen Infernal Affairs, but I'm just trying to guess based off of, how they were almost complete copies of each other. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. It's an incredible film. Go check it out. Number 16, we have The Great Shutter Island, also directed by the best director of all time, Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo. This film is amazing, very underrated in Scorsese's filmography, in my opinion. It is incredible. The plot twist is amazing. I'm not going to spoil a single thing. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. Number 15, we have Silence of the Lambs, which I discussed in a latter episode. But I love this film. It's amazing. Released in 1991, cleaned up shop at the Oscars. One of the best ever made. Definitely one of the best crime thrillers to ever be put on screen. All right, number 14, we have Casino, directed by the great Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci. This film's fun. It's entertaining. It's got great pacing. Lots of rock and roll in the film, which is great coming from Scorsese because that's one of his big things is he likes to put popular music in his film, like Quentin Tarantino does. But this film is very, very good. The cinematography is bright. It's eccentric. It's beautiful. Number 13, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie, directed by the great Quentin Tarantino. This film's soundtrack's amazing. The cinematography is amazing. The ending is one of the best endings in film, period, in my opinion. This film's especially a lot of fun if you grew up around LA. See, there's a lot of noticeable places. You kind of recognize a lot of stuff. Even though this takes place in 1969, it still really does hit, and you can see a lot of the cool landmarks in real life. Number 12, we had Dead Poet Society, starring Robin Williams. This film shows the time that a new English teacher has at a boarding school in New England and how he changes the lives of many of his students by giving them a love of learning English and poetry. This film's very uplifting. I believe it's one that most teenagers should watch. It's so good. Very underrated from a filmmaking perspective. And honestly, I think it is the best role that the late Robin Williams has ever had. And I do include Good Will Hunting in that statement. It's very good. Number 11, we have the best horror film ever made, The Shining, directed by the great Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. This film's amazing. It is suspenseful. I don't want to spoil any of the stuff. It's pretty iconic. It's been analyzed for years. Go check it out. I believe it's on HBO Max if you're interested and if you have the streaming service. It's very, very good. Number 10, we have The Shawshank Redemption, released in 1994, starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. This film's absolutely amazing. It is actually shown as the greatest film ever made on IMDb's top 250 list. And while I may not 100% agree with that list, this is an amazing film, and it's beloved by many, and it's gotten a lot of people off of rough spots, and it's given them hope in their lives, which it could not be a better thing. Number 9, we have the greatest comic book movie ever made. I'm sure everyone listening saw this film on this list from a mile away. We have The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan, released in 2008, starring the late Heath Ledger and the great Christian Bale. This film's action's amazing, soundtrack's amazing, Heath's performance is absolutely astounding. It's gripping, it's terrifying, it's unsettling, it's fantastic. Number 8 is a movie I'm not allowed to talk about, released in 1999, directed by David Fincher, starring Brad Pitt and the and the great Edward Norton. This film's incredible. Can't talk about it anymore. That's the one rule about it. You're not supposed to talk about it, but it's very, very good. Number 7, we have No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers. And this film shows how an escaped psychopathic killer named Anton Chigurh escapes prison and wreaks havoc on a town while an old-timey sheriff, I guess I say old-timey, it's kind of stupid to say, but while a sheriff tries to deal with the morality of issues. Number 6, we have the great film Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, released in 1960. This film was incredible, one of the best slashers ever made. It definitely started the genre, it really kick-started all those early horror films. This is absolutely an amazing film. Go check it out yourself. Monumental in filmmaking. It was known as a disgusting movie when it first came out because of such because of content of violence and things like that. In fact, this film was actually the first movie ever to show a flushing toilet on screen, which is another shocking thing for audiences, which is an interesting fact. Number 5, we have the great Goodfellas, released in 1990, directed by the great Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, and Joe Pesci. This film shows the life of mobster Henry Hill when he's going through the Italian-American crime syndicate for 3 decades before ratting out everybody and going into the witness protection program. This film's amazing. It's got the best soundtrack ever, by far. Everything about it is amazing. This is the Mona Lisa of movies, as one of my buddies has described it. This is an amazing film. Go check it out if you have the means or if you feel comfortable. It is pretty hefty with some of the content stuff, but I definitely believe this is a masterpiece. Number 4, we have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, released in 1975. This one won the Big Five at the Oscars, starring Jack Nicholson. This one gave us one of the most hated movie characters of all time in Nurse Ratched. The ending is sorrowful. It's sad. It's such a sad ending. I'm not going to spoil anything else. This film is amazing. Go watch it. It's amazing. I keep saying that a lot because it is. It shows a lot of the importance of mental health, and it was way ahead of its time. All right, with number 3, we have The Greatest Tragedy, Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Liam Neeson as Oscar Schindler. This film is amazing. It's unforgettable. It's iconic. It is one of the best ever made, one of the best ever put on screen by far. The soundtrack by John Williams is amazing. The black and white cinematography is incredible, and it carries such a heavy message that everyone should watch this one in their lifetime by far. With number 2, we have Scorsese's best film, released in 1976. We have Taxi Driver, starring Robert De Niro. This one was one of the first of a subgenre that I like to call loner cinema. This is one of De Niro's best performances. It's up there with Raging Bull and Goodfellas. This film shows the daily life of a very lonely insomniac Vietnam veteran named Travis Bickle, and how he goes from a sad insomniac to a conflicted vigilante. This film's amazing. It's hypnotizing. I suggest you watch it at night. It's just a lot better at that point in the day, but it's a very, very great film. All right, and if you're tracking with the numbers, we have one left. My personal favorite film, and I do want to say this list kind of changes around a lot, but you guys, this is just what it looked like as of recording this video. I may do a part 2 or a updated version in the coming months. You guys, please send me messages and let me know what you think about that idea. But without further ado, here we go. Number 1, my favorite film of all time is There Will Be Blood, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, released in 2007. This is one of the best movies ever made. The best acting ever put on screen by far by the great Daniel Day-Lewis. Some of the best characters, incredible score, incredible cinematography, such conflicting messages. It's so incredible. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. I have at a loss for words with this film. It's absolutely amazing. It will go down as one of the best ever made. It's a modern classic. I suggest everyone to go check it out. It is really amazing. It is a masterpiece. It is a masterclass in filmmaking. It's one you definitely should watch if you want to go into the art form. But yeah, those are my top 25 films of all time. Please watch these yourself and form your own opinion. This was a lot of fun to record. I enjoy doing these podcasts. Let me know if you want shorter or longer episodes, or if you have any episode suggestions. Next week, we're going to be having one of my pals, Anthony, who is co-host of the Great Raiders of the Lost podcast on here. And we're going to be talking about our top 20 movie characters. Can't wait for that one. See you guys next time.